Let's go check your money. The market's shaking off earlier losses as North Korea fears fade. Markets were rattled yesterday over growing tensions with North Korea after North Korea shot another missile, this time over Japan late yesterday. It put Japan on high alert. The Trump administration is again saying that the White House stance on North Korea has not changed, in a statement saying all options are on the table. This as South Korea staged a live fire drill to simulate the destruction of North Korea's leadership, dropping 8 heavy bombs near its northeastern border with North Korea in a display of what South Korea calls overwhelming force. China now warning the situation is at a tipping point, approaching crisis. Let's take a check of defense stocks. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, L3 Technologies, all ending the day up in the green. Let's bring in retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. He's with the London Center for Policy Research.
Afternoon.
First, Colonel, good to see you. What was your reaction when you heard that the North Koreans had shot a missile over Japan?
Boy, they're just wanting trouble. I mean, it's like, fortunately for us, we have great technology, so does the Japanese, to watch for this thing, during the boost phase. You can tell within seconds where it's going. So a decision, I'm sure, I don't know this, I didn't talk to folks at the Pentagon, but I'm pretty sure I know how the process works. Within the first 30 to 40 seconds, you have a pretty good idea of where it's going. And then decisions are made within about a minute about do we do something or not. And because in the mid-phase, they could already tell it was not going to hit anything, the decision this time, as the others, was to let it go. But there's two things that I see going horribly wrong. One of these things hits something like Japan, like Guam, that when the North Koreans may not intend, and there's going to be a military reaction. Secondly, should one of these things go into an area where we believe they need to be shot down, it'll be shot down. So this continued provocation by the North Koreans is going to end up with someone getting hurt, and I think it's going to be the North Koreans.
Okay,
yes, go ahead.
Colonel, sorry. So you just explain why that missile was not shot down, because they were tracking the trajectory of it. What if, in fact, it did hit Japan? What would the reaction have been?
I think there's three things on the table. First, a one-for-one force option where basically you hit the launch site. That is to say that, okay, you're going to do this, we'll make sure you can't do it again. And that would be measured, a measured response. And again, this would be first time in a long time a military response. But again, Liz, we're talking about, we've said clearly, the United States has said clearly, a military response on the table. Secondly, it could be a response which is beyond simply one-for-one, something expanded to go after a more juicy, if you will, military target in the north. I don't know what that would be. If I did know, I couldn't say, but I'm saying there could be some level of escalation. Third, could be a combination of 1 and 2, taking out the site, going after something bigger. The concern obviously is Seoul. The idea here, we don't want to do anything to jeopardize Seoul, which is essentially a hostage city. So I'm just saying that there are military options which have been looked at that are on the table, and should a missile shot from North Korea hit something of interest, hit an actual territory, there will be a military response.